Alright guys, as promised, here is the Dark World Budget Deck. Welcome to ACCG. Today, we're going to go over just how viable this deck is in today's competitive metagame, and shedding a little light on one of the older decks from before Lynx um, that I'm thankful to see back in today's meta, as Dark World is what really brought me back into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! After I had stopped way back in the day, before pendulums and XYZs and synchros even a thought. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So remember to like, subscribe, and from the top rope, elbow drop onto that bell. Let YouTube know this is a video worth watching and a channel worth seeing. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So, here we have the layout for the Dark Worlds, right? And this is the budget build, as you can see. Everything here comes in the structure deck and more. There are some cards that I personally didn't put into this cut, but maybe you would want to. So go pick up your 3 copies of this deck today and see how you want to experiment with it. There is no right or wrong way to do it. I mean, there are some cards that are absolutely mandatory, such as Grapha and Bigfoot, but I mean, those are all common sense, right? So let's go ahead and get into the build. We're going to start off with the Rainbow Overking of the Dark World. So Rainbow here got a buff, and a pretty good one at that. Now he's Overking. So Rainbow, he's a good card, but you kind of want to play him at 1. You're not going to want to play him at 2 or 3. He has a great effect, don't get me wrong, but he's special summonable from the graveyard. So you're probably just going to want to foolish him into that graveyard to get him out. 3k beat stick, fantastic effect. Really not much more to say about him. So we're going to skip over dangers here, and we'll just go straight to our main man. The reason why Dark World is what it is today. Grapha. So Grapha, built-in pop, built-in expulsion. He is beautiful. And hey, I mean, for a deck boss before Overking, Grapha was the man. This is the card that, back in the day, before links were a thing, was a really mighty deck boss. This guy was to be feared and revered. So it's good to see him back. It's good to see him doing what he does best, popping cards and taking heads. So, very good. We'll go ahead and move on to Silva. So, Silva, I mean, discard by opponent's effect, taking 2 cards out of their hand. Man, beautiful. Stop your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's fantastic. So, I mean, other than special summoning himself, great effects all around. Snow, searches any Dark World card. I mean, why wouldn't you play this at 3, am I right? So, any Dark World card, search. Genta, the new support for the deck. Genta here searches your gates, which is your main spell in this deck, so you have to have that out. Genta gives that to you. He's a great card, great effect, and it's worth noting that's a soft effect, not a hard one, so he can be used again. Now, built-in Upstart Goblin and or Pot of Greed, Brow. You know, I love consistency from last video, where I would upload those, draw power builds. So this budget build, I leaned a little bit more towards draw power when I built it. You're going to see a lot of cards in here that are going to help you draw, like Brow, Archives. You're going to see quite a few cards that help you draw. So, yeah, definitely play this card if you like to draw. I mean, is Brow interchangeable? Yeah, maybe you want to put in a loose in or something. I don't know. It's up to you. Maybe some more gold. But I like drawing. I like consistency. And Brow helps me get that. Next, for our final 2 Dark World cards, Parl is another new support card. I mean, he's nothing crazy. He's a built-in monster reborn. Um, Nothing crazy. Same thing with Cerulli. I mean, Cerule's good. I mean, put a card on their side of the field and all. But, I mean, if he gets special summoned by their effect, yeah, you discard a card, but it's just one of those cards that's interchangeable, really, I think. None of these, except for Grapha, Snow, and I think Genta, even Silva is interchangeable with gold. You can take out one Silva, take out both, put in gold. It's up to you. The Dark Worlds are very and you know I like when decks have a lot of variation ability, as I talk about Machina, and soon we'll be talking more on Dinos. So the Dark Worlds are one of those decks that are very able to be maneuvered with. So that's wrapping it up for your Dark World monsters. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about dangers, right? So Bigfoot, pop any face-up card. Thunderbird, pop any set card. Bigfoot, 3k beat stick. Thunderbird, pretty much almost there at 28. So really powerful cards, both 8 stars. If you want to add XYZs to your build, there you go, level 8s very easily. Very easily level 8s. You know, we have a whole 10 cards of level 8s. So you're going to have no problem playing your level 8s here. And I mean, the deck does also have a little bit of a toolbox for its 4 stars as well. So I mean, if you have 4-star cards like Tornado Dragon, you know, play them. Go ahead, so be it. But let's focus back onto the budget build. So, popping face-up cards, popping set cards, rolling over most monsters with 3k, no problem there. Mothman, it's great. 4-star, expanding your toolbox, like I said. And I mean, look at that effect. Guys, he's a great addition. There's really no other thing to say about it. To round off for our Danger Engine, card number 10, and the final card for Danger and our monsters is our cute little adorable snake. Just look at him. So cute. Anyway, so he's great. He's at 1 though, so we can't play more of him. In a non-budget build, I'd recommend putting in Jackrabbit. I'd recommend playing Nessie at 3. But we'll get into that later on. I'm sure we'll get to a non-budget build of this deck eventually. So that wraps up our monsters. Now the next card, which is another at 1 card, I would only play this against tier limits. I mean, it's very iffy. I mean, not only play it against tier limits. Oh my god! If you want to lose, yeah, play it against tier limits. If you want to absolutely lose your game, play this card against tier limits and make sure you activate it when they have like 8 or more cards in their hand, so that way you lose. So do not play this card against tier limits. Do not play this card against tier limits. I was thinking about Dark World Puppetry, which I have side decked. This play against tier limits. Absolutely. This will help you win games against tier limits. I don't know about playing all 3. Again, this is another card where it's for, you know, all up to variety what you want to add in your structured your side deck from your structure deck. This is all up to you. But yes, so back to card of destruction, card destruction, however you want to say it. Back to card of destruction. Guys, this is a really great, powerful card in Dark Worlds. I mean, discard your hand and draw the same number of cards that were discarded. It's fantastic. So, moving on, our Dark World Ascension is our polymerization and how we get out our deck boss. That's it. It's fantastic. Helps you activate using materials in your hand as discards, right? So helps you activate your whole monsters pretty much. Well, everybody here has a discard effect, so you know, helping you activate your monsters. And Dark World Archives. Remember I talked about draw consistency. It's actually funny how I have Brow right above that. So your draw consistency, you know, this is gonna help you pull cards, play some more, and do other neat things while you're playing, right? So Dark World Archives. And speaking about draw power, I mean, discard 1, draw 1, adding 300 of power to all of our monsters' attack and defense. Gates of Dark World. If you don't know what this does, you don't deserve to play Dark World. If you don't play this at 3, you don't deserve to play Dark World. Stop playing Dark World if you're not play Gates. Okay? So this is the number 1 spell card in this deck. Play this at 3 at all times. And finally, for our traps, we only have 3 copies of Skill Drain, but that's really all the traps we need. Truly, you'll notice there aren't any hand traps in this deck. This is the only trap we need. We have 3k beat sticks in Bigfoot, over King, and potentially Grapha with the Gates of Dark World. So we don't really need effect monsters once we get our 3ks out, do we? Skill Drain will take care of that and take care of our opponent getting out their plays from their side of the field, as it stops all monster effects. So, onto our extra deck. Only 3 cards because that's all they managed to give us here in the structure deck, which is fine. I mean, look at Grapha, the Overlord. I mean, he is the man. Fantastic card. Take a second to read him if you haven't already. But beautiful card. Really a great addition to this deck all around. And finally, for the side deck, these are all cards right here that help with the flow against certain archetypes, if you will. So, I mean, again, some of them are generic too, like Drag Down. So, you're getting that discard, you're getting that draw. Here, you're beating up T elements. Here, with Deck Devastation Virus, you're beating up those sprites. And then Paleosaic, I mean, hey, you're doing great with this as well. There's really no bad card you could add to this when it works so well with the synergy of your deck. And then finally, Dark Punishment, probably one of the better trap cards in the deck. The only reason why we don't play it is because truly, I mean, we don't have the room for it. We want to stay at 40. We want to keep our draw power. So we don't have the room for this, but we would if we had the room. Maybe sacrifice a Mothman and play it. I don't know. Sacrifice draw power and play it. This card, 2 stellar effects, negations and protections. Guys, beautiful card. If you could find a way to add it to your build, go ahead and add it. I like the draw power. That's on me. So, but yeah, so that's going to be it for our budget build here. Hope you guys have learned something, picked something up. This, again, I want to thank Konami for making my favorite deck of the newer generations of Yu-Gi-Oh! Relevant once again. I say newer generations, like it's new, but it really isn't. It's been almost 10 years, but regardless. This deck is relevant once again, like it was when Danger's first released, and when it first released back in the day. It's competitively viable, very much so. Even a full power build of it could see those higher tiers of 1 and even tier 0. I say that very sparingly, but even maybe tier 0, maybe. So, we'll get into a full power build here later, I'm sure. But for now, as I said earlier, remember just to let YouTube know that this is a channel worth seeing. Guys, thanks for tuning into ACCG, and I'll see you all in the next one.